Hola, sisters and brothers, hermanas y hermanos. ¿Qué tal? How are you? Second video on the Q'eros and a journey in Peru. Why is that now? So what is this journey to the Q'eros actually? So the Q'eros are called the descendant of the Incas because they went up into the hills when the conquistadors, the Spaniards, came, the Spanish people, and they were following them. They were killing mainly everyone, especially the wise people and the healers. The Alto Messiahs or Pampa Messiahs they are called now in Q'ero community. My way to Q'ero community was quite interesting. In Cusco there's a place called Healing House, and I thought that must be a place for indigenous people. I bet there are some. So I went into the Healing House, and then I found he calls himself in his own videos a gringo. So he is from South Africa, and he was there at the reception. So I told him why I'm actually here and what I want to see, and then he was just listening very peacefully, and he said, oh, I work with the Q'eros, and I actually plan to take some people up. We want to take some people up. So we were talking about Papa Siwa that he knows, and that is going to be the guide of our tour. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, but give me some days to think about. And all the things about money then kick in, and is this such a good idea to go or not to go, and my budget and this and that and whatever you think. And then you see in the street there are so many other people offering similar things and offering Pachamama and ayahuasca and this and that, and here's a shaman and there's a shaman in Cusco. But I thought, no. A few days later I was very sure I go to Nacion Q'ero. For all of us, it is the first time going up to Nacion Q'ero, up to 5,200 meters, where, indeed, we start walking, guided by 11-year-old Maria, who takes us down to her house, to her place, surrounded by the apus, by lagoons. The first step we are taking into the first community, I start to cry, and I'm not the only one. We settle down in a little cottage, and we enjoy the full moon that guides our first night. The beauty of the place has already a place in our heart. And off we go again the next morning, further into the heart of Nacion Q'ero, further into the mountains, into the remote places, along lagoons, and more beauty. And we get to a sacred lagoon. Here we receive a purification. With the pure water of the lagoon, Papa Siwa clears our hearts and our minds. Usually we would have to jump into the water, but for this occasion it was enough to just sit there and to be lifted. Pure as the air, pure as the water of the sacred lagoon, we make our way to the next community. Our heaviness dissolves, and the connection to Pachamama, to the nature, and to ourselves grows. Another morning, another goodbye. Whenever we leave our hosts that give us shelter, their shelter, and warm soup, with the typical potatoes of Nacion Q'ero, it is a sad goodbye. It is something you leave behind. With every step, once more, you win something, and with every step, you lose something. Today, we will discover a different environment. The changes of nature are breathtaking. I couldn't be any happier, maybe we couldn't be any happier than being surrounded by nature and being integrated into it. A healing itself. Nature is the true healer. Pachamama, Mother, I feel you. Under my feet, Mother, I feel your heartbeat. For me, it is the last night in Q'ero communities. I did not hear the mountains speaking to me. This is my feedback.
Yeah, now I'm back in the snowy mountains. Sorry, I'm losing myself a little bit maybe because I'm just so overwhelmed by the change within 40 minutes on that road that was way more adventurous all the way up. And I'm still overwhelmed by all that nature because there is mainly nothing than just some of those beautiful communities of the Q'ero Nation. So I'm very, very grateful for that introduction into Q'ero life and to see what's it really like, not so mystical and mystified as it seems to be in some videos and what people share. And they are humble people, beautiful people. It's very sad for me to leave because I was really looking forward to get into that environment and to experience their life. So I'm very, very grateful to have seen what I have seen and to continue to see more. And I'm very grateful to be connected here with the Apus, with Pachamama, with that great source of nature. It's overwhelming. So in that little house here behind, in that little shelter, I'm waiting now for the bath. That should be here in 5 minutes. Q'ero time, maybe. So I see. So thank you. Thank you, Pachamama. Thank you to the Apus. Thank you to all the beautiful people that we met, that hosted us, that gave us shelter and food. Muchas gracias.
So now you have seen some of my little bits and pieces. Of course, we can't record everything. Some is sacred, shouldn't be recorded. Some is just for yourself to really experience the moment and the healing. I can tell you, the first step, I went into the first village, into the first community, I started to cry. And I wasn't the only one. And the most amazing thing was that we were guided from the snowy part into first up and then down into this community, into the village, by a girl called Maria, 11-year-old in her sandals, so barefoot basically, And she had so much fun. I tried to catch up with her, and I saw her having all that fun, sliding, waiting for us, sometimes not being certain, and then turning around and smiling again when she did something funny, crazy. We say it was crazy. And so it was just beautiful being in Nacion Q'ero, seeing the Apus, so the spirit mountains, and being surrounded in that place that is basically untouched, unless you see some potatoes growing, some fields of potatoes or other things. We were alone, our little group, and it was, I don't know, you can't find words for it unless you have seen and experienced it yourself. And as you see, I still drop tears because it's so incredible. It just stripes off everything. So what Christina was saying in the interview that I did with her, that you saw in the first part, it takes off the heaviness. You feel light. You feel different. You feel more connected. Your senses open, and at a certain moment, you know you are not, or you once more feel you are not your senses. You are not so much of what you believe you are. And this is a healing for itself already, just being in Nacion Q'ero and sharing coca leaves and sharing stories about the Q'eros and their way, their cosmovision, what they think. In the next video, we see another journey of the Sakantai trek. This was amazing as well. Another journey in the Sacred Valley. Valle Sagrado. And if you are interested in that and what Danilo has to say, then just follow the videos. So see you in the next video then.